Welcome to the third episode of this exclusive series where we will be getting to know the people behind Sitecore. Today we welcome Jason St-Cyr from the technical marketing team, which I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar with. So welcome, Jason.
Hi there. Thanks for having me here, Nicole. This is great to get to be involved in this podcast series you're doing.
Yeah, thank you for being here. So Jason, if you wouldn't mind, please introduce yourself for the community and tell us a bit about your story.
Well, as you said, my name is Jason. I live in Canada, specifically in our nation's capital, Ottawa. I've spent most of my life here, a little bit of time elsewhere, but really, for the most part, I've been grown up very close to where my childhood homes are. But I started my software developer life probably too many years ago to be comfortable with. But that was back in the day when you could get a job doing things like small talk. It was definitely a different life being a product developer back then. And I got a chance to work with a few startups, which meant that I got to wear a lot of hats, which was awesome because as I started learning, I got to do things like infrastructure. I got to be inside of like server rooms and hooking things up. I got to be writing code. I got to do support, right? So I got to try out a lot of things and see what fit for me. And that actually helped me eventually get into the Sitecore community because I found this kind of point where I kind of wanted to do something a little different rather than product development. And I tried the implementation partner life, which was a whole different way of working, working for a customer directly, trying to find out what it is that they wanted and figure out how we could use Sitecore software to solve those problems. It was a really different way, a different career. And it was a great thing that I got pulled in and started learning Sitecore and joining the community. That was, almost 10 years ago now that I got to be part of that community, get started getting into it. And now I've been able to try it out from both like the partner side and now on the Sitecore side.
And what is your current role at Sitecore and how did you get started?
Well, like I said, I was part of the partner group, and now I'm leading a team of technical evangelists in the technical marketing team. And my path from there to here was kind of, I had started doing things like, if I was learning Visual Studio, code, or I was trying to learn TeamCity or TDS or a bunch of different software, I'd write about it. I started blogging. And I think it was probably about, the MVP community that I started seeing that really, I want to do that. So I started trying to, help out and do things in the community while I was on the partner side. And then I saw that Peter Brinkman had posted that he was going to be expanding the technical evangelist crew. And I jumped all over that. The chance to just kind of get to do that MVP work all the time, I thought that was going to be really awesome. And so that's kind of how I jumped into Sitecore and started doing a bunch of community stuff. And it's been really great, like being surrounded by this team and great leadership to get a chance to do a whole bunch of stuff and a whole bunch of really different stuff from what I was doing before. Now I'm kind of focusing on the leadership part where I lead the team and kind of building out a team and trying to do things like mentorship, right? And how do you get others to help out and come and join your cause?
Yeah. And so you do manage a team of technical evangelists. So what advice do you have for someone who is interested in becoming a technical evangelist?
I think I probably changed my mind on this a few times over the years. Right now, as a hiring manager, what I'm looking for often is someone who's a right fit for the type of work we do. And I think some people, they see like, oh, technical evangelist is this because I've seen this one person do that part. But developer relations as a whole in the industry has so many different things, and they have different names. You have developer advocacy, developer experience, technical evangelist. Like there's all these different ways you can get involved in developer relations. So one of the things that if someone wants to get into that I ask is, why do you want to do that? There's all these different roles. So what is the thing that's the fit for you? Because I think if you can ask yourself that and say, I want to be in developer relations because this is what I want to help people by making videos that are funny and on TikTok or something like maybe that's what jazzes you up and you really want to get into it. by understanding what it is that you want to do, what do you want to get out of it, it allows you to look at a particular position and see if it's a fit. Because then you can start explaining what you're looking for. And that's what I'm looking for. I want to know, is this going to be a right fit? Like, what are you looking to do? What's going to get you up and excited about helping developers? And is the position I'm trying to fill going to be the right thing for what you're trying to do? Like, if you want to go and do community management, like Nicole, what you're doing with developer marketing and community management, totally different job than, say, what Thomas on my team is doing, trying to reach out into the industry and JavaScript people. We're all in developer relations, but we're doing these different parts of it. And you got to find the piece that works for you. So I think if you've got the desire to help developers, getting to developer relations is good. Find what that piece is that makes you tick. And that's going to help you be able to more accurately focus in and figure out what the right role is for you.
Yeah, definitely. And so this question's a little bit off topic, but it's to get to know you a bit better. So what are some of your hobbies and how did you get into them?
Oh, so over the years, I've had a lot of hobbies that have taken up my time. And I think at different points in my life, I've been able to put more time into it than others. I think probably the one that lasted the longest was playing ball hockey. I've been doing that since I was a kid. And I even did some competitive recreational stuff, right? It's weird to say competitive recreational, but it's because I was not very good. But what I think probably the hobby that I loved the most, and I wish I had more time for now, was I used to be a gigging musician. So I would play all the time. I was in quite a few bands. We released albums. I even got one of those bands even got signed to an indie label at one point. And I think if things had gone just the right way at the right time, I would probably be doing music full time, and that would have been what I put my whole life into. But I kind of decided at one point, I'm going to put my eggs in the software developer basket.
Right.
Which ultimately, eventually, like, you're cutting away stuff and making time for other things, and music kind of took a side. So music's always been a part of my life. Like, I love listening to music, getting new CDs, going out to concerts and stuff. I just don't get on the stage quite as often as I used to. Probably the thing I miss a lot. And hobby-wise, another thing that I do a lot, some folks on Twitter might have seen me posting about this, is I like languages. Not to the point where I'm very good at a lot of them, but Duolingo is a real hobby of mine. So I learned French when I was a kid, and I can probably still get by in French if I had to. But I've been trying to get into things like Danish and German and learning some Dutch and even a little bit of Arabic. And the whole watching how languages influence each other and looking at the roots of them and just seeing how different people speak about similar things. That's really fascinating. So it's always been kind of a cool hobby for me. One day I might even be able to speak some of these languages, but for now I'm just content with the fun part of it.
Right. That's awesome. And so I guess bringing it back to the Sitecore community, in your opinion, what is the best part of the Sitecore community?
It's probably a little cliche to say people, right? I mean, we always say that, right? But like, if somebody asks me, what's the best part of being on your team? Why do you keep working at the same company? Or why are you still in that band? Or why are you still playing with that hockey team? We're tribal people, and we tend to go and spend a lot of our time with people that we like to do. And I think that is the thing that I've seen in the Sitecore community, is that we have constantly people joining and coming together, and we go to these events and we see, and just watching all of these amazing people get together and create these bonds and these relationships. That is really what's my favorite part of it, is watching people come together over what realistically is a superficial tie, right? Like, oh, we kind of all work with the same software, but you see these like lasting relationships build out of it. I think that's just, that's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. And last question here. So if you wouldn't mind, share your favorite quote with the Sitecore community.
I'm going to be honest. I'm not much of a motivational quote guy. Like, that's not a thing. I think over the years, there's like different parts of me have resonated with different things. When I was doing a lot of project management, there was some Peter Drucker stuff that would hit. But I think right now there's a one of those motivational posters my wife has up in our office, and it says that if you light a lamp for someone else, it will also light your way.
Mm-hmm.
I think the sentiment behind that really speaks to what I want to do in my career right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doing developer relations, trying to help other people, I think all of us do better when we actually go and try to help other people. I think being helpful is a huge part of what we're trying.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in the past, I tried to do that by knowing stuff, right? Like I'd figure out how to do a deployment and I'd go share that with someone else. Like maybe they want to do that too. Right. These days I'm doing it in a different way. Maybe it's more about like, how do I talk to people so I can help them help other people? How do I scale this?
Well, Jason, thank you for sharing your story with us today and allowing the Sitecore community to get to know you better, even though they already know you quite well.
There's always new people to meet, and always reach out to me. I love hearing from new people. St-Cyr thoughts on Twitter, if you ever want to grab me there. DMs are open. Always willing to chat and see what's new.
Well, on the next episode, everyone, we will be getting to know another member from the Sitecore team. Until then, like always, cultivate the community.